Hello everybody and welcome to Robocop, the future of law enforcement. Anyway, I'll just let this intro play. Essentially it goes through basic statistics, basic functions, and the directives. Either way, there are a few interesting mechanics in this game. First thing I should mention is no, there's no platforming, which is always a nice touch. Second thing is, well, the defense mechanism. You can actually hold select, and that essentially makes you immune to damage for a short period of time. Most damage, anyway. And then, of course, there's the firearms. Speaking of which, there are firearms in this game, so your discretion advised. So, let's get started. Honestly, this first level, you can essentially just run through everything because there's so many power-ups that these things really don't deal enough damage to really worry about. And as long as you can get there quickly, all you really gotta do is deal with pretty much just one guy. Minus that other guy I took out, smudgely because I almost had no health left. Either way, you really don't need to deal with that many in that one. Anyway, same thing here. You can pretty much just let them all hit you and it won't matter because there's so many power-ups. You can ignore the vast majority of this part. With the only real exception potentially being the shield guy that appears here. There's nothing else on screen, but outside of that, that's about it. Anyway, you can just move on to the right. After entering this door, collect a machine gun. I'd highly recommend having at least 2 of these by the time the third level gets here. Thankfully, we should be able to get fairly easily. Really not a whole lot to talk about here. There's the blue guy, and that's really the only threat I'd highly recommend taking out to whoever is trying to attack you from behind, though. Mostly because if you get hit, you're sort of paralyzed for a moment. Anyway, make sure you know which one your fist is. Go to the right and just punch through the wall. Anyway, go over here and just hold the defend attack button, which is your select. You're pretty much immune from damage whenever you're using it. And just punch this guy. Please note if you accidentally hit this hostage, your health decreases rapidly. Anyway, this is just a shooting gallery. And not really a whole lot to note here. Outside of, I really wouldn't recommend getting all 30 because you get another life, which does sound nice, but honestly, I've had quite a few problems with this game, and whenever I happen to get all 30 of these targets, speaking of which, I'm pretty sure you can miss a few of them, seeing as there should be more than 30, but the game just has a bad tendency of glitching out directly afterwards. And the game just sort of freezes you in a pixelated version of in a frozen screen with respawning enemies. Anyway, you're going to actually have to pay more attention here because of the way this one's set up. Enemies that disappear once you get to an elevator. Speaking of which, I think this is the only one where you actually have to use a manual control for an elevator. Anyway, I really don't know how to explain the stairs, but essentially you need the back part of your hitbox on the first step when you're going down, and the front half on the first step when you're going up. I really don't know how much more I can explain outside of that. Anyway, after beating this guy, you should have pretty much full health, then go up, and you gotta make your way around. Speaking of which, the instant you take a few steps to the right, they start appearing. Anyway, just go down, go up, and you can get a increase for time. Please know that your health actually increases at the end of each level based on how much time you have left. Anyway, make sure you know what is your punch button, so you can just walk down, punch this guy, walk into this door, switch over to the Cobra gun, take a few steps forward, fire to the upper right. Make sure you avoid the right part of the screen until that guy disappears, because you get rid of two of them, and hopefully you do not accidentally get caught sandwiched in between these ones, or have one touching you. Either way, switch to the machine gun, and as long as they're on both on one side of you, that shouldn't be too difficult, seeing as they're thankfully right next to each other, and pretty much in a stun lock as long as you have them in the machine gun hit. These things drop items some of the time. Notice I say some of the time, sometimes they don't, so it's all about luck. I can't remember whether I've ever seen them drop time. A time power-up. I don't think I have. Anyway, watch out for this gray SWAT thing here because it's a turret. Thankfully, not all of them are like that. Anyway, just turn behind you and just bend down and shoot. Anyway, make sure you're holding up before you aim for this thing, otherwise you'll move forward. As long as you're holding up already before you hit one of the side directions, you should be able to stand still while doing that. Anyway, watch out for the sniper over here. Anyway, back up, just use your gun, and I'm pretty sure this is one of those things that you can't be immune to, because some of the time it just damages you regardless. Anyway, watch out for the machine gun. And go off to the right. Anyway, try to be as close to this thing as possible so you can actually just make it do that. Anyway, stay away from it once it gets to the back of the area. This machine gun is much more dangerous, seeing as you gotta keep making sure you're holding your select button and hitting it consistently, seeing as it only has effect for a few frames and then you have to reset it. Anyway, again, the game glitches if I get 30, so I'm not too concerned about getting it. Speaking of which, you actually have infinite ammo, so you can just keep hitting your attack button. Okay, he talks to Clarence. He gives him a Cobra gun. Walk forward and start using your defend ability a bunch, because things hit you much harder for this area for some reason. Also, make sure you use your punching on these people who go to melee you instead of your firearm, seeing as unfortunately they have more health now. Anyway, grab health, go up. Watch out for this guy with the knife. Anyway, go down, go to the left, get this power up, and you can get another Cobra gun from this guy. And that's free shots. Anyway, enter the next area. Make sure you grab this power up right at the start of here. And keep going to the right. Watch out for these iron girders. assuming you can actually get him in the area he wants to stay in on the ground level, you can actually just use your machine gun on him. Of course, it's hard to tell when he wants to stay there and when he doesn't, so you might be better just using your pistol as he's running around. Yeah, I'm just gonna use the pistol. There we go. It isn't really that bad. It's really just the iron girders falling on your head that you gotta worry about. Okay, and this is the final level. Make sure you know which one is your punching attack. And I'd highly recommend making sure you actually keep this guy that you first meet alive, because it makes the first part of this area much easier actually, because other enemies won't actually spawn in as long as he's on screen. Anyway, you have to rush this area very quickly because your time just elapses extremely quickly. I know I can beat this game with the time slot. Unfortunately, you'll have to move extremely quickly to actually compensate for the lack of time you have. Hopefully these things drop health. Oh yes, this stupid thing, it actually fires these, there we go. I can do it with pretty much no health at all. It's really just the time I'm concerned about. Anyway, hopefully you got a few shots for your Cobra gun left. Just make sure you back away so the machine gun doesn't hit you. There's a slight chance that it'll use the machine gun when it's going forward, but it doesn't happen very often. There we go. Oh, just barely. Literally 1 bar left. Okay, and that was Robocop. Anyway, it goes through the credits. I will say it's a decent side-scrolling game. Not really much to complain about. I mean, there's really not a whole lot to complain about because it really isn't that terribly long. Honestly, I expected it to be at least 30 minutes because I kind of expected the first boss, the last area to be a problem because of the time limit. But I managed to get through it with only 1 bar remaining. Either way, yeah, you had your defensive ability, you had your 3 firearms you could choose from, and yeah, no platforming, and still an overall decent game. Either way, I better end this episode because for some odd reason I believe I hear bells tolling in the distance. Bye.